Welcome to Mental Health Matters Conversations, the podcast where we talk about health challenges that face people every day. Today, we are talking about a topic that hits close to families: job applications, the anxiety of clicking submit, the silence after the interview, and the constant fear of rejection. It can take a huge toll on your confidence and mental health. But what if you could turn that pressure into power and build a resume that not only gets noticed, but also preserves your peace of mind? Joining us today is Mr. David Yusa, the founder of KK and David Consultation, the project manager and an agile coach who has helped hundreds of people rebuild both their confidence and their careers. Welcome, Mr. Yusa.
Thank you very much, Dr. Loveness. I'm happy to be here on board with you.
Would you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, David Tiani Youssef. I'm the founder of KK and David Consulting and also working also in the same IT industry as a senior project manager and agile coach, and also having a background of business analyst, scrum master. So a little bit of a mastery of a agile approach, which is waterfall and agile. And this journey has been a very long one. Right when I got my MBA in finance, because I was so interested in becoming a chartered financial analyst. I've always loved to be an analyst. And that background has helped me to step into this journey that I am today. And I continue to bring others into the same umbrella so that we can leave some legacy to help our fellow brothers and sisters around the globe to not only get into the job but also extend their hands to others, coach others, and make them build that confidence that will help them reduce that mindset, that mental issues that is affecting a lot of us around the globe today.
What inspired you to start KK and David Consultation, and what services do you offer?
Yes, so that's a good question. So after finishing my MBA in finance, this is in the UK. So before getting to the UK, I was in Cameroon, but which I had my BSc, my bachelor's in economics. So I always love to become an analyst, as earlier mentioned. So moving to the UK, I had in mind to do CFA, but I didn't know the right route to go. So I now step into the MBA journey and in investment banking because I worked as a branch manager of a bank when I was in Cameroon. So now, right in the UK, I finished my MBA and I was like, okay, what do I do next? Most of the jobs they're asking for experience. Most of the jobs they're asking for you to know different software hands-on, and all of those I didn't have them. So I had to struggle my way through an organization called NHSP, where I went worked there as a volunteer, and that helped me to get the hands-on. So that gave me the idea. That's where the whole journey of taking and living consulting started. It made me to understand you don't we don't need to just only go to school, but we need to do something that will give us the hands-on. How do we get experience on the module that you're doing? Regardless of whatever field you're doing, how do you get the experience? How can you make a good CV? And how do you go through the interview process? Nowadays, we have more than 4 stages. So, how do you go through those stages and secure the job? How do you even negotiate your salary? And after getting the job, how do you stay on the job? Because, as we all know, the trend is very fast. It's a fast paced journey today. So, from then, I discovered IT. There's this program in the UK where you do a 3 months training and they will show you how to use the tools and all the different processes and all the different methodologies to work as a project manager, as a business analyst, scrum master, data analyst. So I did that training back in the days, finished the training, secure my first job as a business analyst, work, started working as a business analyst. Then I asked myself, oh, I need to become a hybrid because nothing is guaranteed. So I better take care of myself. I started learning other skills and now step
Mm-hmm.
into project managerial skills training. I was shadowing in the company. And also there was a bit of Scrum Master role also. So I also shadow in that domain. That those they gave me the exposure and made me to understand not I should not always stay as a business analyst, but I can do other roles to become hybrid. And why not wear put on two hats in the company? So I started that experience, and now that is where the whole idea of being a hybrid of learning more than one thing kicks in. And after that, when I get into Canada, my first job was with CM, where I worked there as a senior business system analyst. I never, I never did that role, but my combination of project manager background, scrum master background, and business analyst background, I knew there's nothing can stop me. When you have some experience, you have that confidence you have built all over the years, you just need to accept a role, go there, show what you know, and able to learn from on the job. So I started that role, and then it made me to understand how can I help Canadians? How can I help others to where from where I was to where I am today? So I started that training here in Canada as well to start making people to know, hey guys, I know you're doing call call center jobs. I know you're doing PAB jobs. You're a nurse and so on. There are IT roles. Yeah, you have the challenge of how will I get into that role? How can I? What are the tools? I don't have any background. How will I be able to stay on there? Then I came out with the framework of our two-step framework to make them understand. We're gonna first bring them in the from the theoretical background to make them understand the four walls of the modules that we are providing today. And then after that, we give them the practical hands-on using industrial tools that are used out there by various multinational companies, and then show them how to work with, on these respective roles. And after that, I make them to understand we're not going to end there. We're going to build their CV, coach them on how to go through the interview, and also guide them on how to negotiate their salary because it is not about a generic role anymore. It's now a professional role. If you're doing one of our programs, be it a project manager, business analyst, scrum master, data analyst, and others that we've already added, like cyber security, it's a professional role. So you're an expert. You're going there to do something that the company has a need for. So negotiating your salary is very key, and it doesn't end there. And after that, you have a 3 month onboarding period where you have to showcase on what you came there to do. You need to add value within the 3 months and show them that you are the person, you're the right person and the best person for that role.
From your experience as an employee looking for jobs and also as a project manager, how do job applications and interviews trigger anxiety?
Yes, that's one of the biggest challenge that is driving a lot of people nuts today. It makes people go like, I don't want to say the way. It makes people get worried. It makes them get confused. They are stressful, and because they they don't know how to do it. It's, it makes them before even going to the interview, they're already challenged. Practical hands-on training program, we are there to work with our trainees from step by step because we are still on the job, and we are still employees. We see that happening every day. We see how people are coming, they put them on a particular role, they have not given them any onboarding tips. They are not There's no process for them to onboard within the first 2 weeks. They just throw them out there and they ask them to start showing values, to start working. So coming from that perspective, KKNW Consulting Program and us working as employees, the best way to go about that to reduce that stress, to reduce those confusion is number one, we need to build your confidence. And how do you build a confidence on this journey? First of all, you need to first go through our process. Number one is to know the background of that particular program. For example, cybersecurity analyst. For example, data analyst. You need to know the background of data analysts because when you are working, people are throwing you all those. Every field got different words. They got different terminologies. So somebody might say something you are thinking from English language perspective, of which you're saying something else. So we understanding this will make you to understand the four words and the industrial know-how respect to the program that you want to embark on. The second thing is to build you with the basic training. Most of the software out there are built in with basic tools like Microsoft 365 and Google Suite. So once we give you this hands-on, and then after that, we go with you online to select the jobs that are advertised respect to the program that you are training on, that you selected. For you to see that the practical hands-on training program that we're going to provide to you are what people are looking for out there. All the different roles and responsibilities are what we're going to be training you to know. So that will build you the confidence of the savoir faire. So the hard skills. Then we're going to make you to understand the soft skills. How will you be working with the team? It's not only about knowing how to do the job, but you're working with people. How will you work with the team? How will you liaise with the team? How will you collaborate with the team? Your communication skills, your presentation skills, because all of our programs are corporate roles and they are leading roles. So you must be able to communicate. You must be able to build reports. You must be able to coach people. You must be able to guide them. And these are all the soft skills. Once we provide you the soft skills on how to do report writing, meeting uh, management, leading the meetings, writing the reports, documentation, collaborating, make you to understand conflict resolution management side of things. All of that are going to build that confidence and that going to remove that stress before you even start applying for jobs. Next, after we finish the training, you have to validate with us to make sure that everything that we saw online will deliver to you. Then we now get into the last stage of our training, the second to the last stage, sorry, where we prep your CV with you. You and us going to do your CV. Why do we do that? We continue to build that confidence. Most people out there, when they advertise a job, there are about 200 applicants that are going to go. But trust me, you know your CV. You did not do copy paste. Everything that is on your CV, you have done it. We have delivered it to you. You know it A to Z. That builds now the confidence to go to that interview. The next thing now is to help you to negotiate that your salary. And when we talk about negotiating your salary, these are the things that make some people even fail an interview. It's not only about the money. You have the personal days, you have the sick days. And so all of this is part of negotiating your salary. Every job got a particular threshold when it comes to negotiating your salary plus your personal days and sick days. And most people think that the amount that they advertise online is what is that's the final amount. I can tell you with experience that those money out there that will tell you, for example, 100K for a project manager role, you can go beyond that. So long as we challenge them and make them know that you know what you're doing. You're the best person for the role. And after that, we still have 3 months. So our trainees going to these interviews, they know their CV because the interviews are not to tell you to define things. It's a role play interview. Professional interviews are role play scenarios. So you need to be able to express yourself, diagnose the question, because a question that is asked during an interview is not just a question. There are different sub questions for a particular question. So we help you to diagnose the question by understanding what am I trying to resolve in this question. Once you diagnose the question, you'll be able to provide them with detailed analytical answers, and that make them to know that you are the right person for the role. And after that, you have a 3 months onboarding. We also coach our trainees to make them understand within the
Mhm.
months you're going to be fired. We make them to understand that because where I work today, we do fire people. People come in, they've done all the miracles during the interviews, but when they get onto the job, I got a project manager that came in within 2 weeks, that person disappeared. Because what she was all claiming to know was not what she could do. Because today they don't ask, there's no onboarding period. They're gonna train you for 3 months. It's done. It's no more. This is 10 years back. Today, currently, once they hire you, immediately you start to work. So we know that because we are on the job, and we make our trainees to understand there is serious journey after your interview. We have a 3 months period that we are here. We have created an ecosystem to hold the hands of our trainees to able to do what? Whenever they approach, they face a scenario that they cannot. One of us will happily help them because we are still there doing the same roles and responsibilities. And that is how we are helping our trainees and many others to remove that stress of the journey from where they submit their CV up to when they start working on the job.
Okay, because a lot of people actually face the cycle that they apply for jobs, maybe multiple applications, and then some of them are not called for interviews. Some of them may be called for interviews, but then that fear of rejection, some people may face multiple rejections. So, in your training, how do you prepare those people's mindset to stay resilient during that long job hunting?
So there are two questions that you've asked. So the first one is, how do I get called for an interview? That's the first thing. So
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how much we have provided to you, or regardless of how much we've trained you to become that professional, a project manager, a cybersecurity analyst, a data analyst, you still have to submit your CV for somebody who does not know you. That's the trigger there. These potential employers, they don't know you. All they know is your CV. So the question now is, ask yourself, if somebody that have no clue about who I am, and they will need to work on a paper to determine who I am, what should I do? That's the first question to ask. And that's what we help our trainees to understand. These employers, they don't know you. And the first people that call you are what they call the headhunters. The headhunters can be the human resource department. And this is what happens. An IT manager, a tech support manager might need someone to become a system administrator. They are looking for a system administrator. They have given a checklist of a system and they provide this checklist to the human resource. Human resource, they know nothing about system administrator role and responsibility. All they know is that checklist. Now they have a software, they have an application that will send out. You might think that link that you're clicking is just a normal link that goes to their inbox. No, it goes to a bucket, a pool, just like those who are doing the express entry. It goes to a pool. And now you want your CV to be to validate the SEO, the search engine optimization. If I can make it in a very simple way, you want your CV to be the one that, regardless of what is happening in that pool, when they are blocking the criteria, your CV will be among the first five. That's the first thing you want to do. So how do you do that? When you go to on the job adverts, there are keywords on the job that is advertised online. You have to be mindful of those words and repeat them on your CV. For example, if they say they are looking for an agile delivery manager, it is the same thing as a scrum master. So rather than you putting your title as a Scrum Master, change the title to reflect an Agile Delivery Manager. This is another thing that we train our trainees to understand. We make them to understand words that you see online. Sometimes some of these managers, they don't even know some of those titles. So they just put them out there. But we as trainers, we know those titles. So we make our trainees understand. If you see a word called a business transformation manager, that's another word called change manager. That's the same role. You see, when you see a business manager, it's the same thing called business analyst. These are the different titles you will see out there. Now, if your title is a business analyst, you've been trained as a business analyst, then you see the put business manager, all you need to be focusing on is the roles and responsibilities. If they relate to your training, what you've been trained, if they relate to what you know, then put your title as a business manager. Nothing going to change your being. So you want to repeat those words, those terminologies that is advertised there on a various section on your CV. The way we partition our CV, it helps people to go and get an interview. The first thing we have a section of your title, the project you've worked on, the industry you worked on. On the other side, we put the address, we put your location, and we put the language. Now we come down, we now put what they call a profile for you to identify again the same title. Now we are repeating that title that you identified at the top again. Once your CV now is been selected, the next thing now is your CV now is no more useful. It is now you with the hiring manager. Because once you select your CV, that headhunter will still go through those checklists for you to validate them. The headhunter is not doing an interview. The headhunter is doing what we call the definition of ready. Should I accept this person to submit to the hiring manager? That's the process. But it's an interview, it's the first stage of an interview. They are doing what they call the acceptance criteria, the definition of ready. And what is the definition of ready? What are all the items that must be validated before considering the CV for interview? That is what the HR manager is doing as a second triage. That's why they call you on the phone and they are asking you pertinent questions. They are not asking you an interview. They are just validating. They are verifying everything that you've submitted for you to say them verbally and to be consistent. So we make our trainees to understand this as part of the fourth stage during our training program. And we now go now to the tech triage, which is the first interview now. Then you are meeting now with the hiring manager. But you've gone through two stages now, three stages. Submitting your CV was selected. You go to an HR headhunter. They talk to you. They tell you, okay, the hiring manager will be calling for you. You know, you've passed the verification process, which is the definition of ready, or you can call it the acceptance criteria. Then you are now going out to the validation process, the definition of done, the quality acceptance, the quality assurance, saying this person that they have submitted to me, does he or she validates everything we are looking for? That is when they ask you now the proper interview, which is a role-based scenario. They're asking you different questions for you to diagnose them and give them analytical feedbacks, analytical answers, not
Mhm.
you cramming or defining anything. For all the training program that we provide, we are not doing generic roles. We want to put our brothers and sisters on the table. We want you to become a manager irrespective of the program that you selected, because all the program that we are training for are frontline managers. You should sit on the table and take decisions for the company. Okay, so you are not going there to define any process. You are not going there to define or to analyze something. You are going there to diagnose the question that they'll be asking you and to give them detailed oriented answers, because that will make them to validate that you know what you are doing, got the experience. And this might go within three stages. It goes to the hiring manager. And nowadays, next you go now with the team members that you'll be working with. This is another dangerous stage of an interview. Most people don't know because the hiring manager is desperate. Whenever you see an interview, a job advertised, he needs somebody. Remember, he's a hiring manager. He does not do the job. He has people,
That's right.
he has
Mm-hmm.
subordinates. So these are the subordinates. They know the code, how complex the coding process that they are doing. They know the the hardwares and the softwares that they are using. They know how it's complex to do. So they'll be asking you pertinent question with regards to the complexity that they are facing. And they are looking for someone that will come and join with them and help them. Trust me, team members is the team, the fourth stage of interview, the team members, they are the worst because they are not looking for somebody that they will pamper. Because I want to tell you something, people don't want to share their knowledge. People don't want to
Mm-hmm.
share what they know to others. Rather, they are looking to gain. So this interview, go there as your do or die. Go with all your weapons. And after that, you're meeting now the final boss, the vice president of that department, the director of that department. This person is not coming there for an interview. This person is coming to understand your soft skills. In French, they'll call it the savoir edge. They might be asking you about politics. They might ask you, hey, do you do Bitcoin? They just want to see your response. The team members they have already validated you. He's just coming to see the sense of humor. Because apart from working, they say working without playing makes Jacks a dull boy. So apart from working, you still have to socialize with the team. You guys will be having birthdays. You guys will be having parties in the department. They want to see how you're going to fit. You'll be having some excursions to go out to go to some beach and things like that. You'll be traveling maybe to another state, like where I work, you have to go to the US and back. So this will make you to see if you go to the US, how will you behave? If you go to a pub with people, will you get drunk? That is how we help our trainees to understand. That is the part of setting in your CV and getting the job. There's the other part of if I keep sending my CV, if I'm not being called, what happened? You need to come back to our ecosystem. We are all human. We can forget what we what they teach us, what they taught us. We can forget. If you're sending your CV, you're not being called, then your CV has a problem. Then we need to fix the CV. Remember, you must always diagnose the problem and try to understand the prior steps. Sometimes they will ask you, do you have this in your family? Do you have that? Because they are hearing you saying something and they are seeing that this is not normal. But if it came from your bloodstream, okay, then this makes sense. They know how to go about it. It's the same thing with the training program that we provide. Because most people they get challenged when they send you a CV and they are not being called for. So the first thing is we can train you, but you go out there, you don't follow the process. So all we implore our trainees is to come back home. That's why the ecosystem is there. Come back home, talk to us, and I will guide you. If you give medications to patients, they don't drink the medication. No matter how you're a good doctor, follow the process. Everything got a process flow. I always tell people, even death has a process flow. Birth and death, there's a process flow of everything. So even in IT, there's a process flow. If your CV is not being called for, your CV got a problem. Once we diagnose your CV, we're going to identify your problem. And then the second thing is you must be aggressive. You must be aggressive. Any hard work pays. That's something I can guarantee today. Any hard work pays. Any business you see out there, they've put hard work, they've put effort into that. So,
Mm-hmm.
hunting for jobs, you are not the only one hunting for jobs. AI is writing CV today. You are writing CV. Other people that have not done the training, they're writing CV. You must face your reality. The reality is everybody's trying what you're doing. The question is, how can I come out from that circle, fine tune something, go back into the circle? That's the question you should ask yourself. Because everybody is doing it. But who gonna Who is the best? We're going to stay alive. We're going to stay running on the fast lane. Today is a fast lane. Every day you should submit at least 5 CV. Every day I can guarantee you there are more than 10 jobs advertised in all the roles that we train, in all the roles that we provide practical training for. There are 10 jobs that are advertised. So if you are aggressive, at a minimum, your benchmark should be 5 CV every day. And now, 5 CV doesn't mean I just go online, I click 5 jobs, I send that same CV. No. There's another portion of things that you put on your CV, which I said we train our trainees to know. But now,
Mhm.
every job, they always look for what they are looking for and why they are looking for. That also helps your CV to shine. Every company will tell you, we are looking for someone to come and do this, and this. There's one bigger thing that is on the CV about achievements. People don't know how to write that section, how to maneuver, how to input that on their CV. They don't know how to do that. And that's a very challenging section that we help
Mhm.
our trainees to break that wall and get it done ASAP within 2 lines. Rather than you keep yourself in explaining what you have achieved, it might make your CV to be 4 pages, of which you need to have just a 2 page CV. You know, what did you do? Make them understand the roles before they hire you. You knew what you were going to deliver there. So make that to be your achievements because that is what you went there to do, and you did them, or you are still doing them. That's how we make it easier. And once you get that, now when you're looking for jobs, you're also able to identify that within the job description. They always
Mhm.
tell you why they are looking for a system administrator, why they are looking for a project manager to come and join their team. There is a 3 line that is always on job advertisement that people don't pay attention on. This process, that all of these steps that I mentioned to you, will help you don't give up. Will help you remove that stress of I'm sending my CV, they are not calling for me. You know, if you know a problem, you'll be able to identify and diagnose the problem, then solve them. And once you diagnose a problem, it's 50% solved. How is that possible? Once you know how to make a good CV, you'll not be worrying about your CV not going to be called for. Once you know how to go through the 4 interview stages or 5 that is nowadays, starting from the triage in that pool, you will not be
Mhm.
worried about. Once you know how to go through the interviews, especially the 2 major ones, the one with the hiring manager and the one with the team, you'll not be worried
Mhm.
about. And if you know how to now fine tune your CV to relate to what they advertise, you'll not be worried about. It will not be something stressful. It will be something I need to be aggressive. Once you know that aggressive step that you need to take, then you know I'm going to get the job.
So a lot of people are saying creating a resume is mentally draining, and most companies now they use AI to do the screening. Would you advise people to use AI when they are creating resumes or to do it manually, including all those outstanding things that you mentioned to make the resume outstanding?
That's a good question, and that is what is there today. Back in the days when internet came, they made us to understand internet came to stay and people were fighting against internet. AI is here to stay. That is where we're having jobs like solution architect going to cloud, cybersecurity, coming like very renounced nowadays because of AI. AI was there ever since, but now it's becoming aggressive. So there are 2 ways to go about what you just asked. The first one is if you follow all our process that I've told you, you'll not worry about AI because AI is not doing something from space. AI, what is AI? It's an intelligence. So it's taking related things with regards to what you've asked from different people and give it to you. If you ask what is orange, AI will collect all the different oranges that is produced in the world and give it to you. Now, if you know oranges already, you will not need AI to go and be asking what is orange. You see? So that's the first thing. If you follow our process, because we are current, we are in IT, we are on the job, so we know what AI is doing. I love that question that you asked. We are making sure that our process keeps evolving. Our process is not stagnant, it's not there, just it's not rigid, it's flexible. It continues to improve because we work with the people in our ecosystem, we work with partners that makes us to keep improving our process. And we're incorporating all the different ideas that AI is doing out there. It's part of the process. To do everything that I earlier mentioned about putting a good CV is because we are looking at the current trend today and fine tuning the CV the way it's gonna fetch you that interview, that first triage. So that's one thing I would say. So understand our process, follow the process. If laws are written and they are not followed, they become void. So you have to understand our process and follow it. And if you get lost, we are your AI. Come back to the ecosystem. We're going to provide it for you because we do run interviews on the job as well. So we know what is happening there. We work with hiring managers. We know the process. So we are just giving you what is out there.
And do you encourage your trainees to use social media such as LinkedIn and those platforms for job applications as well uh, to correspond with the information they have on their resume?
Before we go there, let me just take one step back. Let me just clarify. The section now, the other part of the AI, if you deem necessary to use the AI, the first thing I'll advise the audience, potential trainees tomorrow, would be you need to first understand what AI does. You must know how AI works. When you know how AI works, you'll be able to know the kind of question you are putting in AI. AI will give you answers to everything. To anything you ask, there's an answer for it. But are those answers what you're looking for? That's the question you are asking. AI provides what you ask. And sometimes it gives you, AI is more generic. So you must be able to understand what you're looking for. And then when AI gives them to you, you know how to collect it. But one advice I'll give to everyone out there is AI is not human. AI is collection of different human ideas that has been put online. So you must massage it to suit the needs of what you're looking for if you need to use AI. But at the end of the day, AI or not, you must understand the journey of submitting a CV and getting an interview. That's a very brilliant question. I will not say encourage, I will say, is it necessary? That's the way I will put it. It's not like we discourage or we encourage. The first thing is, what is a social media? Why do you even need a social media? That's number one. I will tell everyone, if you have a business, social media should be your friend. If your business is online, but you want people to know what you're doing, social media is your friend. But if you're an employee, putting your life out there, how does that add value to you? Are you just making people to know what you are? Or does you even get value putting your life as a resume out there? So that's the thing of, is it necessary? So if you think putting your CV out there brings you value, my question will be, what value do you get putting your CV out there? Most people today are just following a trend that they don't even understand. LinkedIn is a corporate world to bring in business ideas and put it to adults. They've added people to put their profile. If you go on LinkedIn, you will never see Dangote profile is there. If you go on LinkedIn, you will never see even the CEOs of banks, their profiles are there. If you go on LinkedIn, you will see all these rich people's profiles. You will see the businesses that they are creating. That's where you see those profiles over there. Because they see LinkedIn as a corporate world for professionals to come and understand that business, either to buy it, to belong to it, or to add value to it in whatever way that they want them to do it. Okay? Me, as David Tiani, you said David, as David Tiani, putting my CV out there on LinkedIn, there's no value in that. Okay, Facebook, people put photos for their other people that they cannot reach to like their photos, to comment, hey, you went to a party, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it gives them some satisfaction. Now, on with your CV, putting your CV on LinkedIn, what satisfaction do you derive? Because jobs are advertised on LinkedIn, jobs are advertised on the different job platform like Indeed and so on. So you putting your profile there can rather limit you than adding value to you. Because especially for new people, people are struggling to get to a particular sophisticated level. And when you're climbing the ladder, you have a lot of different things you'll be pulling. There are different strings to pull before you get to the ladder. You need some support. Now, if you go out there and tell them, I'm having support from A, so that is the disadvantage I see on you exposing your CV out there. You can put your presence. I am a senior system administrator. Done. So if anybody needs anything about system admin, they can get to you and know where you are and what you can do with your background. That's the added value I see on LinkedIn. If you are a cybersecurity analyst, put your profile, just your profile. Don't put your curriculum there. But if you're sophisticated, you don't need those supports because we are all climbing that ladder. We are all climbing that ladder. If you see charity homes, charity will never tell you that I'm getting support from A, I'm getting support from B. If those people that are donating to charity organization, if one of them know that A is giving, that A might be their competitors, they will not give. So charity don't expose that because they are struggling to climb. Today, United Nations can tell you we get aid from this because they're already there. You know, all those charitable organization can, the sophisticated one can tell you, I got aid from Dr. Loveness. They are there. If you get mad, it doesn't do them anything. But if you're a young charitable organization, you're climbing. You don't need to be exposing yourself because you need to pull the string from different places. So what am I saying here is some people are trying to get into a particular field. Now, they might not have enough experience into that field. Now, if you expose yourself, you are limiting yourself. Rather, keep pulling your strings, get the job, and then when you're sophisticated, you can advertise yourself out there. Because your advert out there on LinkedIn profile, for example, will help others, maybe to learn from you, or they might want you to come to a seminar to come and talk about something, But you as a young person trying to get there, a lot of young people, as they get their first certification, they go and put it there, I'm Scrum certified. Okay, then what? You see, the other thing that you could pull, you're limiting yourself. So it's not a question of am I advising? It's a question of is it necessary for you? And This stress that we are getting, that exposure that you're given, can even be that your mental issue that you are having with regards to submitting your CV and they're not calling for you. Because you might have done a training and you forgot that there you have just a banking CV that you left on LinkedIn. But now along the years, you've done some other trainings and now you're on a different role. But on LinkedIn, your CV there is call center. You see, that makes that headhunter. Remember, the headhunters, what are they looking for? They're looking for the definition of grading. They are doing the verification process to submit to the hiring manager. So they also don't want to lose their job. They also want to have bonus at the end of the year. So it will be very funny for them to go and take someone when their LinkedIn profile is saying something else. You see, so that gonna instead add the stress to you rather than removing the stress. So you must ask the question: me putting my profile on LinkedIn, will it add me value? Because we are human beings. We do forget to update all our different social media platforms. On Twitter or on X, as they call it today, you can have a different profile there. You forgot to update. On Facebook, you have another profile. On Facebook, you might be married. On this place, on another platform, you are single. You forgot to update it. If, let's say, somebody wants to take you serious about maybe you are going for a marriage uh, organization or something to give advice, it just raised an alarm for nothing, of which you just forgot, and will it add value to us to remove that stress that we're getting during our interview journey?
What's one piece of advice you would give to someone who is losing hope in their job search?
Yes. The first thing I would tell people is not to listen from others. You know, human beings, when we are challenged, sometimes we want other people to be challenged. So it's like some people get satisfaction when they hear that A also failed what I failed to do. Some people get dissatisfaction. So don't listen from people. Face your reality. Some people will tell you business analyst jobs are not there. They are not recruiting. One, he's giving his or her perspective. He might not have been following a process to go and get this interview right. His CV is not up to date in a way that it will help him to fetch, to be triaged, to get that first interview with a hiring manager. So what do you expect that person to tell you? That they don't hire. Those jobs out there are just fictional, because they are not following the process. And then what are we telling other young people will be, these things are not real. There are no jobs out there. Those jobs are just blah, blah, blah. You see, that's number one. It destroys a lot of young people, a lot of young graduates, those who want to transit from one career to another. I train people every day. I see that. I hear them. Before they start training, you see asking me, hey, Prof, for which of these roles is better in the market? You see, that already tell me he's already been brainwashed. He's already having that challenge mentally. There's already a mental illness there that someone has put in. So we need to pluck it out. I always tell them, don't take it from me, even though I'm your trainer. Program you want to select with regards to what we are providing. Just key in the name, Agile Business Analyst. Look down. Do you see jobs that are advertised? Yes. I asked them again, do you see the recent one that was advertised like 1 day ago, 4 hours ago? Do you see them? Yes. Do you see some other ones that say urgently hiring? Do you see that? Yes. I say, okay, if you're doubting again, let's take one of those company and call them. Just call the number and speak to HR and ask them, did they advertise the job? So I'm helping them to remove that mental disease that is in there. That's number one. Then number two now is I tell them this training that we are doing is not blah, blah, blah. It's intensive. So If people want to get jobs that they are getting discouraged, number one is first to remove that mental disease that I just earlier explained. Number two is to look for a training company. A training company. If you don't want to come with KK and with consulting, go to a training company where they'll give you their curriculum. They'll give you their breakdown on how they are training. And it should make you understand that. They'll make you to understand the theoretical side of it. They'll give you the industrial know-how of it. They'll make you to train you on basic tool. They'll make you to train on the softwares that they are using out there internationally, because we are not limiting you to work only in Canada. You might decide to go to Dubai. You should be able to work. Once you know how to do it, the geographical region is not a risk anymore. And they should be able to give you the practical hands-on training. And after that, they should be able to take you online, take some jobs out there, take the roles and responsibility of advertised jobs, break it down, put it on a checklist for you to validate after your practical training. To be confident, because you have to build that confidence to make sure that everything that employers are looking for, that's what you have done as practical training. And that
Mhm.
company should be able to tell you that after your training, they will give you you and them will do your CV. They should not do the CV for you, because you are the one to go to the interview and not them. So they should do it with you. You should know every phrase that is on your CV, every word. You should know where it is located. And after that, they should be able to negotiate, show you how to negotiate your salary and do the interview journey. And they should be able to explain to you the challenges that are out there and the forefront of interview journey, the triage to you meeting the verification process with the headhunter, you meeting the hiring manager, meeting the team that you're going to be working with, then you're going to meet the boss of that department before you're going to sign. They should also make you to understand the negotiating power. I've been on roles that have added me 10Ks after what beyond what was advertised. Not because it's miracle, it is because it's practical. They should believe in themselves. And after that, they should make them to understand that after the training, when they get the job, it doesn't end there. People get fired after 3 days, after even 3 months. Because as you're giving the gospel, if you meet your pastor who preach to you every day and you want to go to a bar and meet that pastor with another lady, you know, everything that the pastor was telling you, it will disappear in your brain. You'll be that mental stress will come back ASAP. You'll be fighting with the pastor. Although you don't need to fight with the pastor, you need to fight with the process that the pastor taught you. Okay? Don't fight with the pastor. That's what people are doing. So you must be able to on board, meaning everything they taught you, put it in practice. And if you get lost, we do have a 3 months onboarding period, because it's within the 3 months that you have to showcase. So if any organization out there that can provide you this journey, go to any of them. But if you don't see any, come to KK and David Consulting. We're gonna make you to remove that mental stress that you have, because it has helped hundreds of people to put them on jobs, to give them sophisticated life, to work from home with their families. And this mental disease that others are putting in young people's mindset, it has made most of them also not to get to where they're supposed to get. So today, what I want to advise everyone out there is don't listen to anyone. Face your reality. Go online, search, and if you don't know how to search, come to KK and David Consulting. We're not going to choose the program for you, but we're going to guide you on how to choose the program that's going to suit your being. And one thing very important, people are looking to hear that cybersecurity is the best training program. No, Oh, project manager role is easy. No, one person cannot do all the programs that we provide. For example, we provide Agile project manager, practical hands-on, Agile business analyst, Agile scrum master, cybersecurity, system administrator, solution architect, data analyst, and business intelligence. One person cannot do any of this. We all have the way we were born. There are things that we can do best, and there are things that we can do just good or better. So go to the one that you can do best, so that when you do the training with us, you excel at your optimum. That is another key thing I want to advise audience out there. Don't see that because my friend is doing Scrum Master role and he or she is telling me they are paying her or him 100,000 Canadian dollars. I must do Scrum. No, to be at your best, and you still have the 100,000 and doing it with the natural skill set that you have. That is why some people are medical doctors, some people are nurses, some people are PAB, some people are phlebotomists. They're going to collapse. Some nurses don't want to see the phlebotomy section, though they are all in the hospitals. Some PAB don't want to see the delivery section, though they are working in the hospital. So we all have where we can do our best. So if anyone out there that will follow all of these advice that I just earlier mentioned, trust me, that mental stress, that mental disease of job hunting, of not getting the right job, of being without job, unemployed people, of not knowing how to change your career to the best career, will make you dissatisfied, will make you stressful where you are.
Can you tell our viewers that might be interested, how can they reach you for the services you offer?
Uh, to reach me,
Yes.
a website called katieanddavid.com. On the website, we have everything that we do offer, all the different programs. And we don't only offer programs, we also offer consulting services. So if you have a company and you have need for a cyber security, we are at your doorstep. If you have needs to be able to groom your projects at portfolio, program, and project level, we are at your call. If you have needs to be able to gather requirements, we have need to able to understand your data to help you to vision the way your business is gonna go. We are at your doorstep. If you have need for us just come and train your team members, your employees, we're also at your call. If you go on our website, you get all of this. We have other videos on our YouTube channel, Still Cake and David Consulting. If you go on our YouTube channel, you're able to see all our various videos and you're able to understand. And all our videos, we have detailed them for you to know what each of these roles covers or will do from start to end. And we are also present on Twitter, which is X today. We are also on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and we were on Facebook, where we're going to be going back to Facebook. We just want to update the page to make it more robust and user friendly. So we are out there, and you want to reach us on an email is info@katieanddavid.com. So you want to write us at any time, ask any of your questions. We'll do our best to diagnose your question and give you the best answer that's going to help you to understand the question and know what to decide. You can also reach us at +1 613 897 9936. So we just recently changed our number, so that's the number you can reach us to on WhatsApp or direct call at any time.
Thank you so much. That was such an eye-opening conversation. Remember, your job title doesn't define your worthy. Your mental health does. Rejections are reductions, and resilience is your real resume. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend who is job hunting. Follow us, and for all those who may need services for trainings, for job applications, how to build an outstanding resume, preparation for interviews, you may also reach to KK and David consultation. Mr. Yusa, thank you for coming to our podcast and all for bringing all this insightful and helpful information for those who are job hunting. And to our viewers, you all have a wonderful day. Tune in next week in our next episode. Thank you. Goodbye.